Hello, and welcome to this second lesson specifically dedicated to Microsoft Planner, where we will begin to explore the interface and understand what it is in more detail. Before addressing two options, let's actually start organizing our plan to manage the Congress event. I invite you to follow the slides as they are exactly the same, even in your language. This is English, then we have French, German, Spanish, and Portuguese. And while I navigate through this in Italian, the slides are absolutely identical. You can also follow it in your language. After examining many aspects of this program, we will now dive in. Get into the topic and start to understand what Microsoft Planner is. So in the next class, we will specifically focus on the user interface. Before we start developing our plan for organizing and managing the Congress event in the next class. So, Planner is similar to any other Office 365 application. Next, select Planner and access Microsoft Planner. Of course, you need to access it from the icons at the top here. This is the traditional method for accessing any application. Select the three dots, then choose the application, in this case, Planner. But this isn't the only way to access Planner. It's definitely the quickest method in the CI. When Office 365 opens, because, as we've seen, Planner and the other applications interact with one another. They are also accessible from other environments. For example, we can also access Planner from Outlook. Because when we are added to a plan, we receive the welcome message. Therefore, from the welcome email, by clicking on these points, we can also open the plan immediately. In addition to viewing attachments for the plan activities, we could also access the SharePoint site, which was automatically created upon the creation of the plan. We can access it from SharePoint. We open the SharePoint site that was created automatically. We double-click on the name of the plan. This window will open, and from there, we can directly access the Planner plan. We can also access it from Teams, once we have done it manually, since this does not happen automatically. The plan has been integrated into Teams, so once it is integrated, we click here and access the Planner plan. This means that Planner will open directly in Teams, as we'll see specifically in a later lesson. Looking back, here's the layout displayed in the Planner. It appears this way. The containers are arranged in columns and hold various activities from the plan. Certainly, this plan includes an Italian company that aims to market wines. Tosca in America has committed to conducting activities for marketing Chianti and Brunello di Montalcino, focusing on customer management. Additionally, with suppliers, to manage video calls with sales directors from different regions of the world, and to assess the situation against performance indicators. And the achieved objectives, to set medium and long-term sales and global sales expansion goals. Next, the plan can also be considered from the perspective of the Office 365 group. The plan can be formulated from an Office 365 group, or I can create one from the ground up. Because, as we will see, when we develop our plan for the congressional event, it indicates that there is an existing Office 365 group. I will call him to finalize the plan. The Office 365 group is automatically created with the name I assign to the plan. In this case, I created the Office 365A group for marketing Tuscan wines in America. Then I reached out to him again to set up this wine marketing plan. Not only when we receive the welcome message, but also in Outlook, there is a section called Group. So I can open it directly from here. This window opens, allowing me to access Planner from here. The calendar, as we've seen, can also be viewed in Outlook, where all the groups and plans I belong to are located. Then we mentioned that it can be seen directly in Teams once it has been integrated. Here is a broader and more descriptive view of the situation compared to the previous one. Next, the plan is also visualized in the ongoing tasks list. This means that all activities entered in the plan with a specific date in Office. Tasks from Office 365 are also automatically transferred to the to-do list, appearing, for example, as tasks for today. The plan's visualization is also available in SharePoint. It was noted that when a plan is created, the SharePoint site is automatically generated, but the plan is not directly accessible from SharePoint. It is necessary to do it manually by adding the planner to the SharePoint menu, by clicking on New, Plan, Add an existing plan, and selecting the plan connected to this site. At that point, the link to the plan will appear in the menu, and we will be able to click to open it directly in SharePoint. And by accessing this panel from here, I can manage the files. All files saved here in the OneDrive environment. In OneDrive, we will be able to see all the files attached to the plan. Therefore, a plan has been created and a OneDrive environment has been generated automatically, where all types of files I have attached to the plan are saved: Word files, Excel files, PowerPoint files, PDFs, image files. Of course, there will be perfect synchronization between the changes I make here in OneDrive and those I can later see in PlanAir or even in SharePoint. All files saved here in the OneDrive environment are accessible. You can manage the files from here. And the notebook is linked to the piano by clicking on Notebook in SharePoint. Once a plan is opened, the notebook is linked to the piano if it opens automatically. I will also find a notebook when I open it tomorrow in PlanAir. Of course, I will find it modified if I change the file here. Once a notebook is opened, by clicking on Notebook in SharePoint, it also opens automatically. The notebook is part of the plan. It can also be shared with users in the organization. And we can share not only the entire notebook, but also individual sections, as we will see in the dedicated lesson on the notebook. Even on a single page, which is another part of the notebook section, I can share it with people by adding a text message that lets them edit or just view the note. And I can see in one place the activities that have been assigned to me. I click here and see only the activities assigned to me in the plan. Of course, there may be activities assigned to others, but here I want to see and evaluate only what has been assigned to me. The activities are displayed in columns, but can also be viewed from various other perspectives assigned to me by progress status, deadline, label, and priority. As we will see in the next lesson, where we will explore the interface in more depth. Next, we have the activities displayed in the plan's calendar, which we will cover in a later lesson. They can also be integrated with the Outlook calendar. So, we have activities categorized by progress status, followed by those categorized by priority, whether low, medium, or high, displayed in the members chart. Here are the members of the plan who have been assigned activities. So, we reviewed what Microsoft Planner is and explored how it can interact with other applications. In the next lesson, we will examine the user interface and discuss all aspects concerning the different elements of the interface. See you in the next lesson. See you soon.